Hello friends, I hope you're fine. So today I'll talk about the writing process. So as a content writer, so the first step, you have to bid for the job if you're working on a freelancing platform, or if you have you are lucky enough to get a direct client, well and good, but you still have to write a proposal or you have to make a pitch so that you can be awarded the job. So after getting the project, the writing project, so how do you go about it? So that's the aim of today's video. So the writing process starts with understanding the project or the subject of the content that you have to write about. So if you are not clear about what the client expects, it is advisable that you ask questions. And for this, I have experienced this. You sometimes during the proposal in writing platforms like Upwork, the client can ask if you, as the freelancer or as the content writer, have some questions about the project. If there's anything that is not clear, the client gives you an opportunity to ask so that you get clarifications. So after understanding the subject, you ask yourself, what do you know about the subject or the topic of the content that you're supposed to write about? So here, it's basically what you know, the knowledge that you have prior to doing any research. This is very important because it contributes to the uniqueness of your content, because sometimes people depend on googling or doing using references and fail to do some citation and the proper referencing and paraphrasing, which leads to a higher plagiarism index. So next, after you know what you have or your knowledge, you now research, because sometimes your knowledge or the facts that you have about the subject might not be enough to satisfy the word or the pages that the client wants. So you do research. You're supposed to use reputable sources such as journals, peer-reviewed journals, and it is advisable that maybe the journal or the source should have DOI, um, a digital indexing, that it can be able to be easily the client, if he or she wants to confirm the information, she can go to the DOI and be able to download the PDF or be able to see the file that you source the information. So after that, you gather together the information and you make the first draft, and then you refine it. Now refining means you check for grammar errors, spelling errors, and contextual errors. Now because sometimes when you do the first draft, you sometimes you make errors because maybe timing, maybe the time, you have limited time. So the first draft, you make it and then you refine it. And after refining the first draft, now you check for the format. You should ensure that you follow the format that the client wants, and then you check for plagiarism. And then after checking for plagiarism, you ensure that it is advisable that you make it below 10%. uh, the plagiarism index should be less than 10%. That is the best practice. And then after that, you now check for if you do the referencing quite well, and then you can also you can either be a reference page or a bibliography, whichever format you're using, but it should be there. And then you should add in-text citation so that you give credit to the author of the original content. And then after that, I think if you follow this, you are going to be in a better position to get less revisions and be able to satisfy your client. Thank you.